Hi there, I'm recording this on July 8th, 2025, and that means two things. The sleep loss epidemic TED Talk guy, his math is completely full of holes. I wouldn't trust him on anything. And it is also time for the Darkness News Update presented by Nailed.org, the Lighting and Darkness Foundation, and me, Scott Wachter. We are here to provide you with as much information about night and sleep and light as we can manage. Nailed is a proud supporter. We are an organization of lighting professionals that aim to do better by our clients and their neighbors, and that's really where all this starts. Let's get into the news. The largest camera ever built just took its first photos. This is an observatory in the mountains of Chile. It is the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. It is an 8.4 meter mirror taking pictures at 3,200 megapixels. It generates 20 terabytes of astronomical data per day. Every single one of these pictures is tremendously important. They'll further our understanding of space, and with that, ourselves, in a lot of ways. It's going to keep grad students and iterative AI models in work for decades. But it also isn't going to get any better than this. This is the observatory in Chile that is threatened by a proposed hydrogen processing plant whose light would destroy its capacity to take photos. And again, links in the description. If you're on the video version, flip to this tab right now because the photos are gorgeous. Like, they're valuable scientifically, but the photos are gorgeous. And they're gonna go away. We're gonna lose this knowledge, lose this beauty. And I'm not sure why. This is a remote part of Chile. Why do we have to refine hydrogen here? Can't they do it down the mountain? From that depressing note, let's find another depressing note, which is that here's a photo of, here's an image of federal forests that might be for sale if a Senate resolution passes. This is the same area. This is the same area's light pollution map. And if those federal forests get sold to commercial interests, I think that light pollution map gets a lot worse looking, gets a lot blotchier, like me in high school. And all these sales will fund the government for 6 months. Unless, of course, the new owners get a huge tax break or some sort of incentive program. Then who knows? We have a lawsuit from the Friends of the Everglades and the Center for Biological Diversity that aims to block the use and expansion of an ICE detention center in Florida. Their claim is that the concentration camp that is in operation right now in South Florida is in breach of the NEPA Act. Sorry, the NEP Act. Yeah, the ATM Machine Act. Sorry. And as well, propose the fact that it uses diesel generators for all its electricity and the fact that it has prison yard grade lighting mean that the sound, noise, and air pollution, as well as light pollution, represent a harm to the Everglades National Park and Big Cypress National Preserve. We have a new test of lighting from UC Davis. This is a survey that shows that people report better subjective visibility under full spectrum LEDs. They don't need, so they put people in a box and they used a specific brand's full spectrum LED, and then they compared that to a generic blue rich LED, and they found that people just felt better, saw better under dimmer full spectrum lights as opposed to very bright blue spectrum lights, which shows some promise for us, I think. We also have a related preprint study that shows that blue-rich LEDs impair color vision. We are less able to distinguish colors under blue-rich LEDs, even though in theory they have higher color rendering indices. This is, again, preprint studies, so peer review might adjust the findings or might just throw this whole thing out, but they do believe it is related to mitochondrial function in the eye. Researchers at Embry-Riddle are exploring the possibility of balancing space innovation and darkness preservation. This is PhD candidate Ayla Taylor and Dr. Sarah Langston making an argument that, yeah, we can put some low orbit satellites up and we can have cell phone reception in the woods, but we can also still see the stars and still research the stars. Plan B has issued their policy agenda on light pollution. This is a set of academics issuing new strategic guidance for EU light pollution that they hope will turn into actual regulations. In Yorkshire, in the UK, the University of Sheffield has found that property crime happens more often after dark. This is a breakdown of a bunch of crime stats and crime reporting that shows that, yeah, property issues, i.e., non-violent, non-violent, non-sexual crime does rise after night. And one of the things that the architect that wrote this, literally, he has a PhD in architecture, not like me poetically referring to him as the architect of the report, says that lighting might be a solution. But let's take a walk over to Leeds, where we have a new study that shows that between 2005 and 2013, the region of Leeds swapped out nearly 80,000 streetlights to white LEDs. And they found that over the course of that period, there was no change to crime incidents at night, or no meaningful change. Over that period, property crime at night did rise by 1 to 4%, but that's not really a change, except it did go up a little. Didn't it? The other thing to note is that because this study took place in Leeds, it is a great thing. It's a great comparison case because the best, most thorough study of the presence of streetlight at all, and how it relates to crime was also conducted in Leeds in the 90s. So we have this data set from the 90s as Leeds modernized all its infrastructure and added more typical sort of high power, high pole street lighting, and found that in that case, even just HPS, adding HPS at higher heights compared to what they were using before with old style lampposts, crime didn't change there either. So we have this continuing data set of light not changing crime. I repeat, the town of Leeds changed its street lights twice and no one noticed a difference if they were doing crimes. Let's go to Korea, because KAIST, the Korean Institute of Technology, Science and Technology, were able to cut light pollution from indoor sources with smart windows. They were using a very special structure called a reversible electrodeposition and electrochromic mirror that changes how much light it reflects when, with the power of electricity, and they were able to cut glare on the way out, cut glare from indoor sources going out, and cut infrared radiation coming in. So this is a device that cuts light pollution and saves you on heating and cooling costs. And that's neat. We have a new database for chronomedicine. This is a new resource called Protobiotics DB, and it will automatically synchronize all data from ChemSpider, Drug Bank, ChemBill, CHEBI, Engage, Uniprot, and PubChem. All of these databases are about using pharmaceuticals or pharmaceutical-related data, but it will create a single unified data set that will reinforce our knowledge of when to apply medicine, not just how much medicine to apply. We have found, we have a new study from the University of Manitoba that shows that shift work during pregnancy not only harms the parent, but the child. It is raising concerns over increased incidence of heart disease and stroke, not only during the pregnancy term, but later in life. Again, both for the parent and the child. Des Moines University has examined sleep in surgical suites. They partnered with researchers at the University of Missouri School of Medicine to manage sleep before and after operations for better outcomes through a number of different interventions, some of them just pharmacological, like offering melatonin or other sleeping pills, offering people eye masks, noise-canceling headphones. And they found that, yeah, guess what? If you're sleeping better before and after surgery, it's good for you. This is going to be a theme in a minute because we have a new study that affirms a need for sleep quality in cardiac recovery ICUs, specifically emphasizing that, yes, offering melatonin, like over-the-counter melatonin, even in small doses, is good for patient outcomes, but also nursing schedules need to be maintained across the recovery period. We also have a study from l'Institut Mondor de Recherche Biomédicale that shows that melatonin, low-dose pharmaceutical melatonin, just little over-the-counter pill, reduces delirium in the ICU. We also have found that melatonin supplements are good for neurodegenerative disease, which is, again, to say a pharmaceutical intervention in circadian cycles improves sleep quality and therefore slows the progression of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's disease. We also have a study from the University of Ceará in Brazil that shows circadian rhythm has been linked with leukemia. So circadian gene expression and its disruption spreads leukemia. That's cancer, guys. That's cancer. Mohammed V University tested sleep quality in ICU patients. Their study was actually trying to determine if the Richards-Campbell Sleep Questionnaire translated to Morocco, because again, sleep quality is often culturally constructed. So they did find that, the same sort of questionnaire and the same sort of sleep quality questions and reports do still hold up over there. We have a study from the UPK in Basel that tested timed lighting brightness interventions with teens and found that their results were really muddy compared to conventional wisdom, that they were giving teens bright light in the afternoon and evening at various different points. And the assumed thing where, just any light at a specific time, any light after, say 4 p.m. was just bad for sleep. And actually, it turns out it's really relative. It's much more complicated than that. And they're calling for more detailed models and better dosimetry when we do these sort of tests. Let's get small for a minute because we have found that light at night impairs the metabolism of rats. This is from the Comenius University in Slovakia, and they found that rats are experiencing liver issues that directly affect their metabolism if they are kept under constant light at night. Meanwhile, we have a study that shows that light modulation decreases the circadian disruption of mice if you place them on the night shift. This is just 15 adult male mice that were kept awake at night under varied light, so varying amounts of brightness throughout the night. And that was better on their circadian metrics than 15 that were kept under constant light. We have found that timed dim light at night is better than total darkness at night for the circadian rhythms of zebra finches. Something that I have to remind myself, I had an opportunity to learn, is that, night is also varies. Like there are twilight periods and the amount of light does change. And so adding a bit of dimmed light at the right time, it's good for these birds and it might be good for us further on. We have a new study from this University of Lucknow that found that light pollution harms the immune symptoms of passerine finches. Not only did they exhibit signs of stress, but they also had a greater reproductive response. Like they were more, not sexually active, but more likely to engage in mating behavior under Allen, which is weird. We have a study of 62 species of mammals on 6 continents and found that the mammals that lived closer to people, like their habitats are becoming urbanized, are more likely to start developing nocturnal habits to avoid people. We have a study of sea anemones that found that they don't like light pollution either. Well, okay, not the anemones, but their friends. They have a symbiotic relationship with a single-celled organism called the zooxanthellae. I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, but they live on the surface of their bodies in a symbiotic relationship, and that light pollution causes those single-cell organisms to die off, similar to coral bleaching, and that's bad for them. Honeybee hives have circadian rhythms. We've known for a while that individual bees have circadian rhythms, but no, living in a colony, the bees living together share a rhythm. The entire colony, the entire hive develops one shared rhythm if you let them. In the region of Samburu, Kenya, a hotel, specifically the Samburu Sopa Lodge, will offer an astrotourism package. If you book a hotel, they will drive you out to a nice stargazing spot. They'll offer some telescope time, some lessons about astronomy, as well as some lectures on local mythology related to night over there. Sounds like a pretty good time. We have new advocacy groups forming in India as more urban Indians are experiencing more and more light pollution, and they would really like that to not be the case. We have a study from Hong Kong, specifically of Earth Hour, a period in March where for 1 hour we turn off all unnecessary lights, a thing people keep reinventing or insisting on Twitter, and then I'm like, no, we already have one. But, okay, setting that aside, they were able to track Earth Hour light data from 2011 till 2024, and they really noted that the frequencies of light that come off when Earth Hour is on is related to decorative lighting or advertising. And that big drop does indicate that, yeah, a lot of our light at night, especially in urban environments, is kind of frivolous. We have new dark sky friendly lighting going up in Kendal in the UK. This is a historic district with 200-year-old streets that have new historic styled lampposts on timed dimmers. That's right, at 11 they cut by half, and they look pretty darn good, actually. In Utah, the town of Bluff, near Monument Valley, has secured a certification from Dark Sky International as a dark sky community. It's home to 240 people. Little bit at a time, inch toward daylight, as it were. Oaks Park in Oregon has sparked a debate about light pollution because they are across the river from a wildlife refuge, specifically the Oaks Bottom Wildlife Refuge. And this theme park would really like to add a 134-foot drop tower. This is the one where it's just, a single pole. You take a chair up, goes down real fast. It's all on magnets. And local experts are pretty sure that having something that tall lit up with theme park lighting wouldn't be so great for the birds across the river. Garden City, Idaho has passed new river lighting rules. They have a bunch of new lighting rules, but specifically there are new protections for lighting for trails along the river. Nevada County in California has new requirements for construction, probably. Rangeley, Maine is debating pursuing a dark sky project. There are issues about phrasing, but also related to whether the timeline on adjusting existing lighting is fair enough and what code enforcement would look like, but they'd really liked dark sky town status as well. In Torrington, Connecticut, the entire town council met on a light trespass issue because good lighting makes good neighbors, and right now there's a zoning code enforcement between two neighbors, one of whom is just blasting the bright lights over the fence, and town council now has to decide who is in the right or wrong. We have a new trail in Fairfax City, Virginia, that will be using shielded fixtures all along the way. Clarkdale, Arizona residents are protesting an LED project, a proposed one at least, The town is considering switching their parks over to LED, and locals are hoping that we will see dimmer, warmer options prevail there. In Colorado, Breckenridge is beginning fixture enforcement. This is part of the creeping Aspen trend. Aspen got recognized by Dark Sky, and all the neighboring towns and counties are looking to expand on that work. But they have a new set of lighting standards, and the deadline for compliance was the 1st. And right now, bylaw officers will be out on the prowl. If you break their current lighting bylaws, that'll be $250 on the first offense, $500 on the second, and on the third, you get to sit in front of a municipal judge and make your case. In Logan, North Dakota, a wind farm is going to have to add more light. Per FAA rules, a 92-turbine farm will have to keep 9 of those turbines lit permanently, not just with anything that detects movement above and flashes them on. That's a shame. In Brunswick, Georgia, there is a Buc-ee's, a gas station on I-95 that is so bright, it is a hazard to sea turtle nests 12 miles away. So Buc-ee's are a very large, they're a large chain of very large gas stations. We're talking dozens of pumps, as well as a full restaurant and souvenir stand. And people tend to like them. They tell me the food's good, but also that's real bright, guys. That's real bright. The state of Texas has resolved to observe Dark Sky Day. This is a non-binding gesture from the state legislature that will happen in April if they're in session in April. Truckee, Nevada, and Nevada City, California are holding a night photography contest. Submissions for that are due on the 27th. A judge has allowed Marin County high schools, specifically the Kentfield School, to illuminate their baseball field after decades of lawsuits. Looks like that team can finally play night games with some restrictions on how bright and their directionality. In something that is not sponsored, but I do want to mention, is that Incon, a lighting company, has expanded their Turtle Safe product line, so now there are more options for that. And they would also like you to know that they are Build and Buy American compliant. Lastly, Dark Sky International is seeking submissions for their 2025 awards. These are for academic work, conservation work, advocacy work. There are categories across the world and across age limits, age categories. Those are all due on the 15th. And if you happen to know a handsome podcaster that keeps you informed about what matters in night conservation, maybe recommend him for an award. Anyway, I have been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank Nailed for supporting it. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, take care of yourself.